Alright, greetings. So we are doing another book review, and I read the book The Unfettered Mind. It's a whole bunch of Zen swordsman sayings and kind of expands upon what they are talking about on it. So if you like The Legend of Korra Season 3, then you will like some of the stuff that they talk about in this. So it starts off, first, 10 pages. I really had no idea what the fuck he was talking about in it. But then it started going places that I didn't expect. So they start off by talking about the abiding place, or the place where the mind gets stuck. What they mean by that is, when you get stuck on a thought or an opinion, or when you have an opinion on it. By that time, you have already made yourself biased. And the first 5 pages of it were talking about swordsmen and their footwork and positioning on it. And they talk about how if I focus on my footwork, I am not focusing on my opponent and I will get hit. If I am focusing on my sword position, then I am focusing on that and not what my opponent's doing, and I will get hit. I think they use the word struck, but I like hit better. So they go on and they talk about when I focus on the opponent, I'm focused on what they're doing and not my foot position or my sword position, and so I'm going to get hit. So the conundrum is, what do you focus on? And that is the big conundrum that the whole book is about. And then they cut to the scarecrow, who does its job even though it has no brain. Therefore, you should have no mind. Well, you have a mind, you have an opinion, so what do? Well, you let the mind go where it goes. And they use an example of a tethered cat. If a cat is tethered and it cannot move freely, then it cannot do its job. If a cat is not well trained and it goes wherever it pleases, it may not do its job. So there's this dual thing that's going on. More interesting in it, it goes on to talk about how the moment between striking flint against a stone to create a spark, or steel against flint to create a spark, that is what your mind needs to be. Or the moment of lightning. It happens in an instant, and when it's done, and the storm moves on, or the flint moves on from the stone. That was kind of like this aha moment for me, because I always have these knee-jerk reactions that I did things and it always spiraled for me. But so I started taking some time in doing it, and turns out what they're saying is I need to do these knee-jerk reactions, but I need to properly train myself beforehand. So it goes into, when I form an opinion, I am inherently biased towards that opinion or that thing. I'll give the examples of, what I'm going to eat, or do I like how this person is talking to me? Well, if I focus my opinion on that, or if I have an opinion on that, by extension, I have an opinion on that person, place, thing. And that I've already lost to that thing because it is renting space in my mind. that I needed to be like the gourd who is placed underneath water. It will float when you remove your hand. How it floats is up to the gourd. It was a lot of that and finding the correct actions that you need to take and training yourself to have those knee-jerk reactions to them. They don't want the past and the present and the future to have any sort of space that you could fit more than a hair through. You need to be one to the next, to the next, to the next. It kind of reigned true on like what they were talking about with AA though, just do the next right thing. Well, you don't know what the next right thing is until later on, so you have to just do the best that you can. Use your morals, make these snap choices, and move along. Don't get hung up on these things. Otherwise, you'll get hit. The whole book in and itself is about 75 pages. I'm wanting to say 72. The first half of the book is a lot better in expanding the mind. And I'll be right back. I wanted to get the book to show you what I'm talking about, and I've been highlighting through it, but the big question was, where does one put the mind? And it says that you put the mind nowhere. Putting the mind in one place is called falling into one-sidedness. One-sidedness is said to be bias in one place. Correctness is moving about anywhere. The correct mind shows itself by extending the mind through the body. It is not biased in one place. When a person does not think, where shall I put it, the mind will extend throughout the body and it will move about to any place. When the foot is called for, one should move the mind to that foot. But if you determine one place in which to put it, then you will draw it out of that place and it will stay. But it will be without function. Keeping in mind like the tied up cap, not allowing it to wander when you keep checking within yourself. And within yourself will be detained. Forsaking it within the body, it will go nowhere. Put nowhere, it will be everywhere. I thought that was pretty interesting. And then it goes on to say, the right mind and the confused mind. It is the mind that stretches throughout the entire body in itself. The confused mind is the mind that thinking something over congeals it in one place. When the right mind congeals and settles in one place, it becomes the confused mind. The right mind is like water. The confused mind is like ice. Ice is unable to wash hands or head. When ice is melted, it becomes water and flows everywhere. It can wash the hands, the feet, and anything else. I thought that was really good. Oh no, the commercial!
Why stay at a hotel?
I like to listen to lo-fi because it calms me. The mind of the existent mind and the mind of no mind. The no mind is the same as the right mind. It can neither congeal nor fixes itself in one place. It is called the no mind because the mind is neither discriminatory nor thought, but wanders about the entire body and extends itself throughout its entire self. The mind becomes fixed and it stops in one place. It does not function freely. The mind is also something that does not function if it is attached to a single situation. And to drive it home, they gave this poem. The flower that would surrender its fragrance before the brushwood door does so regardless. I, however, sit and stare. How rueful this world. So kind of what I got about that is when I put my mind in that I am sober, or I am an alcoholic, or I am in active addiction, or I am this, or I am that. I am fixing myself and pigeonholing myself into one thing. And so I thought back about how my longest stretch of sobriety went for me, and I just kind of did my own thing. I did whatever, made me happy and didn't step on the toes of others. I didn't force myself to go to 90 and 90. I didn't force myself to pick up a chip. I didn't wake up and pray every day or pray at this certain time or get my mind right. I just let my mind go and do whatever. And after a while, it kind of went into a routine. And it goes, the engendering mind with no place to abide is the highest level of all. If the mind is treated like a tied up cat, it will not be free and it will not be able to function as it should. If the cat is well trained, the string is untied and it will allow to go wherever it pleases. Letting go of the mind and ignoring it like the cat, though it may go places where it please, this will be using the mind in the way of not having it to stop. So, that's a lot. That's a lot to process. I think we get so focused on, I'm going to do A, and then B, and then C, and then D. But in like a recent Reddit post that I said, I find that I work things out of order, and I do things as I please. So why not allow my mind to do that if it is well trained? So I well train it by getting things in order or a routine, and then as I go about things, I let things wander. My day doesn't exactly look the same every day, even though I am on the same routine. Every day I wake up, I go outside and I look at the sky because, I don't know, I fucking like sunrises and I think they're gorgeous. And if you've ever seen any of my shorts, then you kind of know what I'm talking about. I've already kind of alluded to it, but when I wake up and I'm like, happy sober Thursday, and guess what? I'm sober, but I don't force it. I don't confine it to one thing of I've got to do this, and this. I write a list of things that I need to get done, and I need to get them done that day, but I don't go down the line. I pick and choose what I am feeling at any given moment. And sometimes I'll start something and that moment of me wanting to do it will pass, and so I'll just kind of put it away and then I'll go work on something else. Case in point, the greater journey that I'm building out. I don't like to sit there and just put together models and then paint the models and then eat dinner, go to bed, whatever. No. So I like to wake up, like I said, go outside, see the sunrise. From there, I'll go inside, I'll get a shower, and then I will play some Nintendo Switch for my gaming channel. I'll eat some breakfast, I'll get ready for work, then I will work. On my lunch, I may or may not read a book, I may or may not work on a model, spray paint something to get it primed and ready. There's a lot of ebb and flow. And then once I get off work, I'll take the dog out, and then I will come back in. Usually I'm feeling a little angsty, so I'll do a workout. That workout ranges anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour, depending on what I'm doing. And I've always tried to stick to a workout program, but I've never been able to do that. Never. I'll get like a month in and I'll fall off. I did it with Insanity, Body Beast, P90X, the Bro workout. So it'll just do as it does. completely forget about the mind and you will do all things well. Meaning, don't try and force your thoughts to be good. Just go do good things and then suddenly you will be going and doing good things more often. It says, throw the ball into the swift current and it will never stop. I think that's pretty accurate. You know, if you throw a ball into a river, you'll see it float around and float down current, but it never stops unless it gets hit by an abiding place or a branch or something, and then it'll get stuck. These things are what you need to do. The effect of tightening up on the mind to make it unfree, bringing the mind under control is the thing done only in the beginning. If one remains this way throughout life, in the end he will never reach the highest level. In fact, he will not rise above the lowest. Build a routine. After you have that routine, do whatever. You will still have that routine and a loose structure on things. And you know, my workouts don't exactly start exactly at 5:30. If it's 6 o'clock when I get around to it, it's 6 o'clock when I get around to it. I'm not rushing through things. I'm not blowing it off. I have time. And that was the most interesting things that it kind of talked about. And it says, knowing what evil is, but refraining from it, but not refraining from it is a sickness of one's own desires. So basically, if you know it and you know it's bad for you and you still go do it, then you are just giving in to base pleasure and it's not going to work out. A lot of these things kind of like turn out really AA-ish, or maybe AA stole from this stuff in some sort of way. And then this is my favorite one on it. It goes, above all, concerning your honored son's behavior, it is going at things backwards to attack the child's wrongdoings if the parent himself is incorrect. If you will first make your own conduct correct, then voice your opinions, not only will he naturally correct himself, but his younger brother will as well. Everything will become correct and they will all become good men. It is a really good book. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I don't know if there's an audio book on it, but I will look and find, and then I will link it down below. So if you enjoy some of these self-help book reviews, vlogging, random Warhammer shit, some random crafting and what have you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this, show me that you actually like it, and I'll keep doing it. Well, I'm gonna do it regardless, but it's more motivating. Come on. Okay, bye.